In a world that worships appearances, the honest man suffers while the cunning reign. You've been told to be good, kind, and fair, but life keeps punishing your virtue. In this video, we will expose the brutal truth Machiavelli knew centuries ago: to outsmart everyone, you must play a different game, the game of perception, manipulation, and control. This is not advice for the weak. This is for those ready to win. Power does not belong to the honest. It belongs to those who understand human nature and use it without remorse. I am Niccolò Machiavelli, and today, I shall reveal how to outsmart everyone. Not with brute force, but with brutal wisdom. You've been taught to believe that good people are rewarded, that honesty leads to trust, that kindness will return to you tenfold. From childhood, you've been conditioned by your parents, your teachers, your preachers, to follow rules designed not to empower you, but to contain you. They gave you words like virtue, integrity, and decency, and told you that these were the highest achievements of mankind. But what they didn't tell you is that these words are weapons, not in your hands, but in the hands of those who use them against you. Here is the truth. Morality is not a universal law. It is a social tool, a mask, a performance, a language the powerful speak when they want to appear innocent, while orchestrating something far darker behind closed doors. The illusion of morality, that's the first battlefield where you either gain your power or lose it forever. You think people admire virtue? No, they admire the results. They admire strength. They admire those who win, even if they won by deceit, manipulation, or quiet cruelty. The world respects victory, not virtue. When a man speaks with too much morality, understand this: he is usually hiding something, or worse, he is trying to manipulate you. Because morality in politics and power is nothing more than strategic theater. And if you don't learn to perform on that stage, you will be destroyed by those who do. Do not confuse appearance with reality. In public, the powerful weep for justice. They praise fairness. They smile humbly in front of cameras. But in private, they conspire, they betray, they wield deception like a sword. The knave will say, that's hypocrisy. But the wise man says, that's strategy. If you want to outsmart everybody else, the first thing you must do is divorce yourself from the illusion that you must be good to do good, that you must be honest to be respected, that you must be kind to be loved. You only need to appear so. You need to wear the skin of a saint while thinking like a ruler. People don't look closely. They believe what is presented to them. That's your advantage. Give them the performance they crave. Dress the part. Speak the part. Smile at the right time. Lower your voice when it suits the moment. And offer your hand when they expect it. But behind that smile, calculate. Behind that hand, prepare your next move. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." That is not cynicism. That is survival. Because to be real in a world of masks is not a virtue, it is suicide. You think honesty wins friends? No, it wins resentment. People don't want the truth. They want reassurance. They don't want to know how the world works. They want you to confirm their illusions. And the man who provides illusions, while quietly climbing the ladder behind them, is the man who wins the game. Ask yourself, when was the last time someone powerful rose to the top purely by telling the truth, by being transparent, by playing fair? Power is not given to the virtuous. It is taken by the cunning. It is earned by those who know how to manipulate perception. And perception is reality. You may think, but I want to be good. That's fine. Be good in your private life, in your heart, in your quiet thoughts. But when you enter the world, the arena of power, politics, relationships, money, do not bring your innocence to war. Bring your intelligence, bring your awareness, bring your mask. To outsmart others, you must understand that virtue is a tool of influence, not a guarantee of success. People trust those who appear righteous. That means you must become a master of appearance. It is not enough to be loyal. You must look loyal, even when you're calculating an exit strategy. It is not enough to be kind. You must speak kindly, even when you're withholding the truth. And when the world turns on you, when they accuse, when they whisper, when they doubt, you will survive, Because you built your reputation on perception, not on fragile honesty. You kept your true thoughts buried, your true plans hidden, and your true loyalties reserved for yourself alone. What separates those who win from those who remain forgotten isn't goodness. It's clear. The clarity to see the illusion, the clarity to know when to play the moral role, and when to discard it like a used costume. Because in the game of power, the real crime is not cruelty, deception, or ambition. The real crime is being naive. When most people hear the word deception, they recoil. They imagine backstabbing, lies, betrayal. They imagine evil. But those same people lie every single day. They lie to keep their jobs. They lie to preserve peace in their relationships. They lie to themselves when they say they're happy. The truth is, deception is not rare. It is everywhere. What makes you weak is not the use of deception, but your ignorance of it. The powerful understand what the masses do not, that deception is not a vice. It is a tool, a weapon, sharp and subtle, designed not to destroy others outright, but to control the narrative. And he who controls the narrative controls the game. You've been told to be honest. You've been told to speak your truth. But what happens when your truth becomes your downfall? What happens when your transparency is used as ammunition against you? That is when the wise begin to understand what Machiavelli knew, that sincerity is only useful when it serves a purpose. But when it exposes your position, when it reveals your intent, it becomes a liability, a tactical error. People want to believe they are rational creatures. They are not. They are emotional. They believe what feels right, not what is right. And that's where deception becomes a superior form of intelligence. Not to harm them, but to guide them into the version of reality that benefits you. Not because you are evil, but because everyone else is already doing the same, only they are less honest about it. You do not have to lie recklessly. The most powerful form of deception is not a direct falsehood. It is a distraction, a slight redirection. You make them look one way, while your true aim is in the other. You flatter someone not because they deserve it, but because their ego is the gate to your success. You act humble not because you are weak, but because it disarms the suspicion of those above you. You play the fool to make the smart man arrogant, and when he underestimates you, that's when you win. There's a reason the fox was Machiavelli's favorite symbol, not because it is vicious, but because it is cunning. The fox doesn't fight the lion head-on. It waits, it observes, it outsmarts me. Deception, when done right, isn't even noticed. That is the highest form of manipulation. When they believe they made the choice, when they defend you even as you use them, when they trust you completely, and never suspect that you are shaping the outcome behind the scenes. It begins with the mask. Your face is your first deception. Learn to wear expressions that protect your thoughts. You must smile while calculating, nod while doubting, praise while planning. The goal is not to deceive out of malice. It is to survive a world that is already playing by these rules, whether you like it or not. Ask yourself, when was the last time you revealed your real intentions to someone and it empowered you? Chances are it didn't. Chances are they used it, judged it, twisted it, or exploited it. That's because the moment you reveal your hand, you surrender your control, and control, in any arena, is the real currency of power. Learn the rhythm of the room. Sense when truth will cost you, and when illusion will elevate you. A man who blurts the truth without calculation is not noble. He is foolish. He believes the world will reward his honesty, but the world rewards strategy. Honesty without timing is just another form of self-destruction. Even your silence can be deceptive, and sometimes it must be. The moment you realize that silence can provoke more than any argument, you've begun to understand real influence. Deception is also the art of withholding. You do not owe the world your transparency. You do not owe your competitors your real thoughts. You do not owe your rivals clarity. What you owe is to yourself. And that means protecting your position, your goals, your next move. The strongest people don't reveal their future, they redirect the present. You might feel guilt at first. That's because you've been taught that winning through strategy is somehow immoral. But look around. The winners you admire, the leaders you follow, they aren't honest all the time. They are calculated. They are precise. They know when to speak and when to act dumb. They know how to bend perception without ever breaking it. That is not villainy. That is intelligence. And here's what separates the predator from the prey. The predator uses deception as a lens, not a blindfold. It allows him to see what others cannot, not because he is better, but because he has accepted the reality most people run from. Deception is not the enemy of truth. It is the shield that protects it, the dagger that preserves it, the art that allows it to survive long enough to matter. Power does not come from reality. It comes from perception. And the one who understands how he is seen and knows how to control how he is seen holds power over those who never question what's in front of their eyes. Most people walk through life blind to this. They believe that being good, being talented, and being right is enough. It isn't. The world does not reward the best. It rewards the best perceived. If you are intelligent but appear hesitant, people will treat you like a fool. If you are capable but seem insecure, you will be overlooked. If you are strong but appear emotional, they will call you weak. Because in this world, truth is not what matters. The illusion is. That's why the mastery of perception is not optional. It is survival. And more than survival, it is dominance. If you can control how others see you, then you can control what they expect from you, what they fear from you, what they give to you. Machiavelli said, "It is not necessary to be virtuous, but it is necessary to appear so." That is the code of those who rule. You must learn to sculpt your image like an artist, with deliberate strokes, with patience, with cunning precision. You must create the version of yourself that suits your goals, not your emotions. If you want influence, project confidence, even if you're unsure, because perception does not care about your internal world. People do not see your doubt. They see your posture. They hear your tone. They watch your timing. Confidence is not a feeling. It's an illusion you maintain until it becomes real in the minds of others. That's what makes it powerful. If you want respect, appear unpredictable. Don't let anyone fully understand you. Predictability leads to boredom, and boredom leads to irrelevance. When people can't anticipate your next move, they stay on edge. They observe more carefully. They hesitate. That hesitation is to your advantage. You don't have to say a word. They'll do the calculations for you, inventing stories in their heads about what you might do next. And in their uncertainty, you hold the leash. People don't fall in love with the truth. They fall in love with perception. That's why you see men and women obsessing over people who don't treat them well, as long as those people seem powerful, desirable, mysterious. That's why leaders can inspire masses with empty words, because they speak with conviction and present an image of certainty. People want to believe. They need something to worship, something to follow. And if you can embody the idea they crave, even if it's an illusion, they will give you everything. The perception of power is often more useful than power itself. When people believe you are capable, they step back, they comply, they seek your approval. That's why the kings who survive are not the strongest, but the ones who know how to look untouchable. Calm under pressure, decisive under attack, silent when provoked. People interpret silence as depth. They project wisdom where there might be nothing at all. But it doesn't matter, because the perception has already done its work. It also means this: never let them see you struggle. Your pain, your confusion, your doubts. These are luxuries you express only in private. In public, your image must be clean, controlled. Even your flaws should look calculated. The moment you bleed in front of the wrong eyes, they will smell weakness. And weakness, once perceived, is almost impossible to wash away. Understand this. Your reputation is not owned by you. It lives in the minds of others. And the more minds you can control, the more territory you conquer. Every word you speak, every look you give, every silence you hold, it all contributes to the myth of you. And the most powerful people in history were not just people. They were myths walking among mortals. You do not need to lie about who you are, but you must control which parts of yourself are seen. Hide your chaos. Reveal your control. Hide your desperation. Reveal your direction. People want certainty, confidence, leadership. And if you can present even the illusion of it, they will follow, defend, and elevate you beyond your actual merit. This is not manipulation. This is survival in a world that feeds on image. A world where even truth must wear a costume to be heard, where even light must enter through a stained glass window to be appreciated. You are not sculpting a lie. You are sculpting a legacy. One glance at you must say everything, without a single word. That is mastery of perception. That is power. If they can read you, they can use you. If they can predict you, they can trap you. Predictability is not just a flaw. It is a fatal weakness. And the world, filled with ambitious minds and silent predators, thrives on those who walk in straight lines. People crave certainty, not just in others, but in themselves. They want routines, clear identities, stable reputations. And because of that craving, they become easy to map, easy to control. You know exactly what they'll do when offended. You know how they'll respond when flattered. You know what will make them angry and what will make them surrender. They become puppets, not because they are weak, but because they are consistent. But if you wish to outsmart the world, you must become the opposite of that. You must become unreadable, not erratic, not chaotic, but strategically unpredictable, a force that cannot be calculated, a presence that cannot be pinned down. This is the truth Machiavelli understood and never apologized for. A man who is always honest can be deceived. A man who is always kind can be taken advantage of. A man who always forgives will be exploited. The more others can predict your behavior, the more they will shape their strategies around your patterns. And you will not even notice that you are being manipulated, used, or controlled. Think of how generals wage war. They do not march forward in a straight line. They feint, they retreat, they strike from the side, they mislead the enemy with false movements. Why? Because predictability invites defeat. And life, whether in business, relationships, politics, or war, is no different. When your enemies think you will stay silent, speak loudly. When they believe you will attack, step back. When they expect fury, deliver calm. This disorients them, it breaks their rhythm, and most importantly, it forces them to guess. That moment of hesitation, when they are no longer sure who you are or what you'll do, that is when you own them. The masses love routine because it makes them feel safe. But power doesn't care about your safety. It respects your influence. It obeys fear. And no one fears the man they can predict. They only fear the one who might smile one day and cut the next. The one who keeps his thoughts guarded, his feelings controlled, his next move hidden behind 1,000 possibilities. You've been told that consistency is strength. But that is only half the truth. Consistency in values, in direction, yes. But behavioral predictability, that is a blueprint for your enemies. If your every emotional trigger is visible, if your every decision is built on principle instead of strategy, then all it takes is one observant rival to collapse your entire structure. You must understand this. The most dangerous man in the room is not the loudest, not the angriest. It is the one who cannot be read, the one who listens more than he speaks, the one whose silence is never neutral, but filled with calculation, the one who doesn't react immediately, because he is choosing when and how to strike. This doesn't mean you must be cold. It means you must be disciplined. Your emotions are not commands, they are tools. If you feel rage, you delay it. If you feel pain, you conceal it. If you feel love, you do not offer it to the unworthy. You are not a machine, but you are a strategist. You know that the moment you become emotionally obvious, you become psychologically weak. Never be the man who is known. Be the man who is suspected. Let rumors surround you. Let others try to define you while you keep rewriting the rules. When people cannot predict you, they project onto you. They imagine you as more powerful, more intelligent, more dangerous than you might actually be. And that illusion is power. Even in your victories, remain silent. Do not gloat. Let them wonder how you did it. Let them question if you're finished, or just getting started. Make sure they never feel like they understand you completely. Because the moment they do, they stop fearing you. And once fear is gone, so is their respect. You must learn to disguise patterns. If you are generous, be so unpredictable. If you are ruthless, let it come without warning. If you are forgiving, let it be a strategy, not a habit. Your inconsistency in behavior should never be random. It should be intentional, confusing enough to keep others off balance, yet consistent enough to serve your ultimate plan. This is how kings remain on the throne. This is how wolves move through forests of sheep unnoticed. This is how you become untouchable, not by being the strongest, or the loudest, or the most liked, but by being the least understood, the one they cannot read, the one they cannot break, the one they fear not because of what he has done, but because of what he might do next. Now you see the game for what it truly is, not a contest of virtue, but of vision, not a test of honesty, but of understanding. To outsmart everybody else, you must unlearn what the world has forced upon you. You must stop believing that morality guarantees protection, that truth is always strength, that being understood is the same as being respected. You must trade the illusion of virtue for the weapon of perception. The man who rises is not the most talented, but the most calculated, not the most loved, but the most unreadable, not the loudest, but the one who speaks when it matters and deceives when it counts. Remember, this power is not given, it is taken. Influence is not found, it is constructed. And dominance is not a result of luck, it is the fruit of strategy, discipline, and control. The world will not hand you a crown for being good, but it will kneel before the one who understands how to rule. So now you must choose. Will you keep playing by the rules they gave you? Or will you start playing the game they never wanted you to learn?